Don't expect the sun to shine. By Richard E. Rathwell. Staged by Harold Rhenisch. Yeah. If we could just tweak the words, huh? I don't know. Artists write about art using language as images. That sounds about right. And it's what they know. The words mean nothing except in the way gestures of paint mean something. The way these words are painted, now that means something. That's all good. Any attempt to align this art writing to what's called reality, though, that creates only fiction. You actually have to make it up to do it. That's what the 20th century, Robin Blaser's century, achieved. Yeah, it's beautiful. Just think about it. 300 years ago, it was very different. Then, reality was the world of God. You couldn't see this place, but it was there. You didn't live there. You lived in unreality. And that was a place like Pittsburgh or North Battleford, Saskatchewan. A physical place. And it was often pretty rough. But don't worry. God sent messengers. They were called angels, which is after the Greek angelos, messenger. They came in your dreams, like beams of light through a window, like views, refractions. Angels of light, angles of light. And that's all painter talk. And that was 300 years ago. Then came Birmingham. We caught some of that change in our book. Notice that here it's the images that carry the meaning. The words are only the frames of a film, introducing them. The angels, or angles, if you will. So have a look. See, it's the 21st century, everyone. There are only messengers and no message. Actually, it's a relief. In the 20th century, the century of reality, the world you could see made you wish you couldn't see it. We didn't like it, but reality it was. It lasted for a short time, and now it's a ghost, haunting everything we say. And don't think, oh, the words are the messengers delivering the images. No, and don't think, oh, the images are the words delivering the images. No, you'll hurt your head like that. And don't worry. Come on, painters have lived like this for a couple generations. Writers are only catching up. There is no message. We paint the words. We tattoo our minds and the world. In the city where I live, Vernon, there are 5 tattoo shops within 2 blocks of the public art gallery, which is in the basement of a public parking garage. And people still go to creative writing workshops. It's amazing. Richard, so what about angels?
So now we'll talk about images. And words, of course, are images. And the reader has to put them together. There are complicated ways of doing words and images, which, for example, they do in Japan and China and Thailand, other parts of the... And there are ways of doing just images in film, and there are ways of combining all of those types of things with emotions and connections and everything in social media. None of those are to be excluded in respect of the joy of living, or in fact the despair of living, or understanding or not understanding or being moved. The way that we, Harold and I, have done images in this is to give images which are evocative in both a personal and in a societal or general kind of way. One of those images is Stalin. I mean, Stalin, as a murderer, is definitely an image which is in the minds of those who are the family and friends still living of those who were murdered. Stalin is an image in the minds of those who are besotted with a certain type of ideology which requires that there be authorities and gods which are beyond reproach. Stalin is, in fact, on one of my T-shirts, a comic figure in which he is called Stalin. And the idea of it is that there is a contrast between Stalin and the style of my T-shirt, in which, incidentally, my T-shirt wins. We have tried to make images which are evocative of a what might be called a worldview or an approach or a stance. And this stance is a stance which attempts to free itself, in so much as you can be freed, from those parameters which make absolutes, and rather leave one to enjoy a movement, a way of thought, a way of going back and forwards, and a way of wrestling with time, and with what you might call the angels of time and the angels of place, and the angels of images, except, of course, angels are themselves an image. And in this respect, I am having my wake for Robin Blaser.